Yes, hello, good morning. Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, very good afternoon. Can we see us all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. If we can see, this will be really good.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so how about others? Where are all others? We are still hardly 4 or 5 persons only who are actually listening. So where are others? Because I have seen when we work with on online system, we face similar kind of challenge. Most of the people are not there or sometimes working otherwise. Everyone, please keep your cameras on. Until we see each other, we won't actually proceed for screen sharing. So everyone, please put on your camera.
Excuse me, sir. My name is Anima Das. Actually, my mobile audio video is not working properly right now.
We are proper teachers doing teaching continuously. Even we did so during the Corona period. Why connecting and joining through mobiles? Matlab, you people are at work and somehow as a redundant terminal, we are connecting to this talk. Is it like
Actually, no, sir. Actually, I'm trying my best to connect with the laptop. That is not being able. Right now, I'm not being able to connect with the laptop. So I have started this thing with the mobile phone, right? To join the class at time.
Right.
Okay, within just few seconds, I will be able to connect with the laptop. So that.
How about
okay,
others?
thank you, sir.
How about others?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Patricia, Nancy, are you there? Nancy, Shravani, Praveen Bano. Hello, Dr. Anjali, Dr. Amita, Darshini. Aapka Amita, why was your camera switched off?
Sir, actually I'm in my office and lots of people are crossing me. That's why I switched off the camera.
We will agree to see them, but keep your camera on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dastidar sir, where are you? Sela, Darshini, Amit, dekho, Amit is also not there. Satish is also not there.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Dr. Anjali. Sir, I'm right now driving back to my home from my workplace. So after 10 minutes, I'll be switching on my camera.
Actually, this is why I suggested everyone, क्योंकि students को बोलो वो तो सुनते भी नहीं हैं कि switch on your camera तो भी नहीं सुनेंगे, लेकिन कम से कम faculty है, आपके colleagues ही हैं, so they can open, right? Shrestha, Anil Yadav, Santosh Adhav, शोभा मैम कहाँ हैं? जीशान सब गायब हैं, सब अच्छा लंच करके now everyone is just trying to ensure that the attendance is full, right? So anyways, as we can see that participants have their own engagements also. Many of them are from the offices. Okay, still let us talk about certain things. Okay, so what kind of computers do you have? Sab log batao apna. What kind of computer configuration do you have? What are its features and how capable your computers are?
Sir, I do have an HP 430 laptop Actually, laptop. I don't use computer. I have laptop.
Computer means
Laptop. Okay.
Laptop
So
or
it's
desktop, whatever.
The processor is i3. Processor is i3 and 4 GB RAM. It's 4 GB RAM.
4 GB तो काफी कम है, 8 GB होनी चाहिए because Windows 11 or Windows 10 essentially requires a larger.
Sir, mine is Windows 7. I'm working on my Windows 7.
बताइए so सबसे पहला, if I say that the very first lesson to take is your hardware configuration. Since we are going to talk about ICT, right? Until your hardware supports your activities, okay? So there is essential requirement of upgradation of the software as well as the hardware, and there is requirement to ensure proper updates and latest versions of the softwares installed. Okay, otherwise the features which we might talk about might not be available. Okay. Pankaj, how about your hardware configuration? Dr. Pankaj Singh. अब देखो,
यस सर,
माइक्रोफोन ही ऑन नहीं हो रहा था.
यस सर.
बताइए कॉन्फ़िगरेशन क्या है आपकी?
सर, आई यूज्ड a laptop of 16 GB and 1 TB space सर.
ये तो बेटे का लैपटॉप है, हाँ? 16 GB वाला तो
सर IOE प्रोजेक्ट से सर मिला.
बहुत बढ़िया, ठीक है. अंकिता जी, how about you?
Sir, I am having Lenovo ThinkPad Core i5 actually.
Core i5. So normally 4 GB, 10, 8 GB. 4. Okay. So anyways, how many of you have touch screens in their laptops? कितने के पास टच स्क्रीन है? ये हम लोगों को सोचने की जरूरत है. हमारे पास लेटेस्ट हार्डवेयर होना चाहिए. आशुतोष जी, हाउ अबाउट यू? आशुतोष जी, आपने तो कैमरा ही बंद कर दिया. यू आर ऑन म्यूट. अनम्यूट करिए.
Yes sir. Sir, I have 6 GB RAM, i3 processor laptop.
Right. Very good. ठीक है.
Yes sir.
And Praveen ji, how about you?
Fine, sir. I have 8 GB RAM.
No, sir, I don't have a touchpad.
Okay. Right.
With 8 GB RAM, having Intel Core i5 processor.
Right. So कुछ चीजें हैं जो ICT की initial. अच्छा, how about the language? Are you all comfortable in English or I should use mixed language?
Sir,
मतलब ऐसे तो कुछ लोग नहीं है जो इंग्लिश नहीं या typically want only in English, because sometimes there are some South Indian faculty members talk in English only. Okay,
it will do, sir.
It will be okay. Fine. So the very first thing which we require is to have a computer, a laptop or a desktop, whatever we have. It should have at least 8 GB RAM, a capable processor which can do needful graphic analytics as well. Okay. So sometimes whenever as a faculty member, if we are buying an equipment for ourselves for education purposes, ICT platforms require a good quality laptop, right? So this is important. Then second thing is regarding the touch screen. Why do we require a touch screen? Amita ji, you tell me. Don't be on mute. हाँ.
मेरे ख्याल से ये बहुत ज्यादा हैंडी है क्योंकि हम लोग मोबाइल यूज कर रहे हैं आजकल और हम मोबाइल को मतलब टच उसमें यूज करते हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल से टच पैड ज्यादा ही हैंडी हो जाएगा.
अच्छा, तो बेसिकली टच पैड हैंडी तो नहीं होता, टच स्क्रीन से आप स्टाइलस से उस पर लिख सकते हैं। तो हमारा पर्पस ये है कि हम जब टीचिंग एक्टिविटी करें, whenever we are doing some teaching activity, we should have touch enabled screen so that you can write on your screen. And what is the advantage of writing on the screen? Why would I require to write on the screen? Ankita, why do I require?
Because there are certain figures or diagrams that is good when we write it directly on the screen.
Right. So
Most of the
actually
graphs.
we want to write on PPTs, right? So for writing on the PPT, we require something which we can directly write, and since that view will be towards us, the whole projection will be seen to us on the screen. What the students are seeing on the projector screen, right? And therefore, your laptop, if it has touch screen, using a stylus, you can write on that, right? This is one very important thing to note, that your laptop or the computing platform should be advanced and very good, should be capable, number one. Number two, it should have writing capability. So either you should have touch screen. If touch screen is not present, then what is the alternative? Tell me. अगर स्क्रीन नहीं है, टच स्क्रीन, जैसे बहुत सारे लोगों के साथ होता है, राइट? या मेरे पास भी टच स्क्रीन नहीं है, बिकॉज आई एम यूजिंग अ मैकबुक, राइट? बट MacBook Pro doesn't provide touch screen, right? They provide in Mac series, they suggest to use touchpad, iPads, if you want interactive features. So they will never provide touch screen on the MacBook Pro. Now what? What is the alternate way? Someone told me,
we can use laser enabled pens to highlight our points.
You can use laser enabled pens. Okay, while using the PPT, you can use or enable such red pointers. Are you talking about that, Ashutosh ji?
Yes sir.
ठीक है. So मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि there is one more mechanism which is called touchpad.
Yes.
So a touchpad, usually the brand name is Vacom Tab. Okay. So using the Vacom tabs, you can always write on the screen. So Vacom tab is like a touchpad. So generally it is simply connected through USB port to your laptop, right? And the pointer of that touchpad will be seen on the screen moving. The best part of this thing is that you can have different pressure levels while writing, and therefore the thickness of the line or the shades can be changed. So using touch screen and writable platforms like Vacom Tab or otherwise, you can write on using that. So another important accessory of faculty member, as a faculty member while using ICT, is a Vacom Tab or a touch screen, right? Touch screen is not a limitation, but a Vacom tab will always be very helpful while using it. Okay, fine. And why do we want it? Because we want to write on the blank slide. Okay, so I can just now, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Huh? Right. So actually what I wanted to show was, let me share my screen and then quickly. So actually what we will do, we will keep on switching our screens whenever I have something to show to you. I can share, right? And so can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
एक साथ दो माइक्रोफोन्स यूज मत करिए, अदरवाइज इको हो रहा है ना, राइट? So you are able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So you see, if you have Microsoft Office, right? So this version is Office 2019 or 2021. Okay, so generally this has the features to draw. I have seen some of my friends don't have this draw feature. Okay, so if you have this draw feature in your PPT, so once again, as we were observing that some of you don't have Windows 10 or 11, which means the softwares installed in your system might not be advanced. Okay, so they might not be supporting additional features which you might be requiring. So once again, everyone, I recommend everyone that check whether you have advanced platforms, latest platforms, and they have needful features. Okay, so this is how I usually teach in my classes when I have to do something. So now I can tell you that I am Dr. N.S. Rajput. I am associate professor in electronics engineering and communication department. IIT BHU. Earlier we were part of BHU, that's why as a token of honor, we still use BHU. Otherwise, formally, one can understand that we are IIT Varanasi, right? So IIT BHU Varanasi is our designated name. My mobile number is So this is my WhatsApp number as well as my mobile number. So certainly you people can feel free to write to me, send any number of messages whenever you want, right? And my email address is nsrajput.ece@iitbhu.ac.in, right? So please feel free to write me messages and I will be happy to support you further. Okay. So in fact, why did I do this? Because otherwise regarding the expert's name and designation details, contact details might have been already shared with you all. Okay. But my purpose to do this was that you should now, since you are seeing my shared screen, now you can see it large. Okay. Since I am writing using Vacom tab on a state-of-the-art, good quality laptop, I am able to share my screen. I have already prepared background slides on which I can write. So now if I wanted to project the same slides and screens on the projector, I can do it, right? So now what will happen, by the way, how many of you actually use chalk and board and how many of you use projectors for teaching? How many of you generally use chalk and board kind of writing pads? कुछ लोग बताइए जो chalk and board से करते हैं. What is your usual?
Sir, still using chalk and board.
ठीक है, आपका class size क्या है? What is your class size?
सर लगभग 20 बाई 40 के आसपास का रूम है.
Number of participant कितने हैं?
हेलो.
हाँ, now how many number of participants do you have? How many students do you teach in one single class?
सर लगभग 50 से 60 बच्चे.
So that means if you have 50 to 60 students, they might not be sitting very far away.
जी.
For us, we are teaching a class of 170 students, sometimes 230 students, right? Now what happens when you are using chalk and board and writing? What is the thickness of your chalk? Usually the thickness of a finger, right? And then when with this thickness you write on the board, even if someone from far behind can read what is being written, the attention level will significantly drop, right? So that will create a difference and a distraction among the students. So what is the other way out? The other way out is to use this type of method in which you are sharing your screen using a projector. So projector has large slide, right? I hope my screen is visible once again. Right?
Yes, sir, it is visible. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now you can see that now if you will project this whole slide on the screen, it will be a very large font size, right? Because it is thick and very large, your even students sitting at the end would very comfortably be able to see it, right? So this is the advantage of writing on blank slides, white slides on projector rather than trying to actually use the chalk and board method and then writing, right? So the first thing which we have understood is we should use blank slides with certain background if you want, otherwise simply keep it background slide and then you write. So the first point which we have understood to utilize is, the first thing is hardware. Hardware should be good quality and recent configuration, right? Like 8 GB RAM, right? Plus, now you see, we have different types of processors. What kind of processors do we have? एक तो Intel I series, right? Intel I series में हो गया Core i3, i5, i7 plus 8 GB RAM kind of configuration. Usually it is good. Then we have another variety of processors which is AMD processors. What they have? So ये जो Intel के processors होते हैं ना, ये they are not basically meant for graphical processing, rather than they have CPU, which are generally actually designed for high level of computations rather than graphical processing. So if you are using this kind of processors, then you should have graphic cards also, right? Graphic cards are the ones, in fact, the way I am writing on the screen and doing all the things, this is graphics, right? So a capable processor will be able to do it, otherwise it will slow down your system, right? So your eventual performance will degrade. In contrast, your AMD processors, now they are APU processors, Advanced Processing Unit processors, right? Which have two things inside. One is compute processing unit, so which is good for computation, and then they have a small GPU inside. So this is why Intel I series is CPU, whereas AMD processors are APUs, Advanced Processing Unit. So CPU only has compute capability, graphic cards will be separately required, whereas AMD processors, they have CPU as well as GPU, right? Then apart from your processors, you should have touch screen, or you can have Wacom is a brand name, so you can ignore it. Touchpad or writing pad, right? So you must have a stylus. I have in fact seen people trying to write on touchpad using their fingers, right? Although sometimes, for example, right now, if I want to write something, now this is, I am writing using my touchpad and finger, right? So this is how sometimes when we want to write something using finger and actual touchpad available on your mobile touchpad, it will, the performance will be like this. Whereas if you use actual touchpad, digital pad or writing pad, now here you can write very comfortably, hello all, right? So this is minor difference, but this is significant difference, right? So it is very important to use proper tools while using, while you are teaching, right? And the next thing to consider was use blank slides with larger pointer, right? Larger pointer is from here. I can write very thin. Now you can see the visibility is still there, but it is not very bold. Whereas here you can see I have written it very well. Okay, so this creates effect. Actually, we have to create impact in the minds of the student so that his attention is continuously very good. So for example, if I take even thicker one, now here you can see in this thicker one, the clarity of the characters is not very good, right? So this is why choosing a mid value or some moderate value of thickness usually helps. I usually use this type of thickness. So I use typically this much thickness, right? So this is what I would like to recommend, that while you are teaching, understand and visualize that you should use what thickness of the content which you are writing on a board or a slide. Now, if it was a green board, then in that case, while you are writing using a chalk, your thickness will not be this much. And you just imagine when you are writing only this much and projecting it on a projector, this will be some font size of 36 or 42, right? So writing so hugely will always give you very good impact. and students will be able to see it very comfortably. And that is why I personally recommend that you should have large number of extra slides available, right? So whenever you want, you can immediately increase number of slides. Now, when you are while teaching as well as increasing number of slides, if your platform is not powerful, it will immediately hang, right? So once again, a good platform always helps you because you are keeping a good configuration, right? So what my recommendation is, generally you should keep slides full of content, but slides for teaching should be like 20 to 30% pre-filled and almost 70 to 80% should be blank, right? So what happens? You have lots of content to write, but only very small things to show, right? So this is how your teaching will be very interactive. Okay, so that is another way to do such things. Okay, then your microphone, while you are teaching in the class, even if your voice is very powerful and you can speak aloud, right, it will always be very good to use a microphone or an audio system. Okay, use audio system. Microphones, use audio system or microphones, right, while teaching. No matter how powerful and loud is your voice, right? So this is another important thing regarding the audio system. Plus use blank slides, right? Just like this. And you know what will happen while you are teaching, and suppose you have generated such 60 slides while teaching. Finally, whatever you have written on the blank slides, they have become your notes, which you have been continuously making while teaching. So these hand notes or PPT can later on be shared with your participants and students. So what happens, whatever you have written, they will have a record. Similarly, you will have a record while preparing a question paper or something. You can always quickly refer that what examples I had referred, right? So that also helps significantly using this. Okay. Acha, one more thing. While you are doing this much, it is always advisable it is advisable to use large hard disk, right? Or okay, now there are two things. One is hard disk, other is cloud storage. Can anyone tell me why and when hard disk and when cloud? Why am I recommending to have both kind of things, cloud as well as your own personal hard disk or solid state drive? Can anyone tell me? Ankita, Dr. Ankita. चलिए दस्तीदार जी आप बताओ.
Namaskar. Actually, cloud storage you can access any and from apps also, other systems also. Whereas the hard disk would be limited to your computer wherever you are using.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes. You
Hello.
are audible. Tell me again.
Yeah, I said that cloud storage you can access from any. Whereas with the hard disk, you are limited in a certain place. But of course, the hard disk is also for security reasons.
Yes. So generally what happens...
So depending on what is the purpose, one may decide.
Sir?
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am,
yes. Sir, means both have their own characteristics. Sometimes that hard disk is beneficial, but most of the time cloud is better than hard disk. Because today only I suffered because my data has been vanished from my hard disk, from my laptop. But it was in Google Drive. That is why it is now safe. So most of the time it is better option. Cloud is better option, I think.
और सबसे अच्छा तो अपनी गाड़ी में बैठ के लेक्चर अटेंड करना सबसे अच्छा है. घूम रही है, बताइए कहाँ बाहर घूम रही है?
नहीं सर वो इसलिए कर रहे हैं कि जहाँ हम बैठे थे वहाँ शोर बहुत आ रहा था तो कार में बैठ के अटेंड कर रहे हैं. एनी टाइम एनीवेयर.
मैं भी आपको बताऊं, many times I do this. क्या होता है लैब में आपको वाकई दिक्कत होती है, कई और भी लोग डिस्टरबेंस होते रहते हैं ना. Many times I have done meetings in my own vehicle while even being inside the department. That I have urgently. So this is very good. You have spoken very the real truth. Okay. So actually, the cloud has the advantage that you can have some of the PPTs handy on the cloud. So whenever all of a sudden you have to give a lecture, you can take it. Suppose you got engaged somewhere, you can immediately connect, open your slides and start your lecture. Okay, so it is a good practice that you should have storage on a local hard disk, preferably not the magnetic disk, but in solid state drives. Nowadays, larger file sizes are available, so storage are available, so one can use that. Okay. The second part is the access through the cloud. Okay, so this is another thing which is important. So both kinds of access should be available. So nowadays we have different types of cloud storage, like we have Google, we have OneDrive, we have many more. Okay, so it is good that we should have large storage available on the cloud and create proper folders and keep your PPTs and content saved. Okay, so this is another important thing which I wanted to refer to. So this was all about the hardware. Your hardware should be good. You should have significant tools for utilization like touchpad, writing pads, Wacom tabs. You should have a stylus so that you can even draw and directly write on slides and other things. Fine. So that is one important thing. Now what more regarding the software side? Regarding the
Sir, one thing more I would like to mention here.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, we can do many collaborative works also with the help of cloud storage. Sir, आजकल जैसे हम लोग कोई वर्ड में काम करना है, कैनवा पे काम करना है, तो बहुत आराम से हमने आधा काम किया, अपनी फ्रेंड को या जो हमारा कोलैब उससे कह दिया तो आगे कंटिन्यू. मतलब it is very easy.
Yes, in fact,
in collaboration.
That even during the night time, Even if you are sleeping, some other student might be working continuously. So when you will wake up in the morning, immediately you can pull up from the content or review the content from this. So you have pointed out another good thing, that we should learn to quickly generate doc files or PPTs or Excel sheets on Google platform or other on Microsoft Teams, or use licensed versions of Microsoft Office, which allows collaboration. So whenever you are creating a file or preparing some proposal, immediately bring it on the cloud, share it, make it editable, let others also contribute, and let them edit in real time. Okay, so that is also a very important thing. And therefore, we have some points to observe is that we should have hard disks, larger hard disks, cloud storage. Cloud storage may be available on Google, OneDrive, and many other platforms. And collaborative actions are also required. Do collaborate with the team on cloud, right? So this is one very good way to actually implement the things, right? So now with this, now we come to the software side. So how many softwares do you all use? For example, even while you are utilizing even simply PPT, even what I have observed is that in Microsoft Office, it itself has so many tools and flexibility that most of the things can be very conveniently done. For example, you can create the document and do all the things, PPTs, animation, and other things. But very good feature is to draw, right? So you can draw in different colors and write on the PPTs. Okay. Then another useful feature which I usually quite frequently utilize is regarding record. So you can record audio, right? So even what is good is you can do animations, right? Automated animations, and then every single slide can be recorded with record audio. So while you are creating slides, make a habit to record the audio signal or audio file into the slide. So whenever any next slide opens, automatically it plays and explains what you intended from the slide. So sometimes sharing such slides among the students helps a lot. Okay, and since it is audio signal only, the file size is not very heavy. Okay, so that is also another very important aspect to cover, right? So you can record audio, you can also record videos. So you can insert videos, right? You can insert videos from files. You can even include files from YouTube or something, and it will simply be playable, right? So in that way, for example, if I want to insert teaching skills, if I will, oh no, it will require me to place a link. So let me take a link from YouTube. Okay, let's take a file from teaching learning cell itself, and let me take any file from this. For example, this is a right. So now I have copied the URL, so I can place it, I can insert, and while I will insert, it will immediately insert, it will search, and now I have placed this over here, right? So even inserting a video file is very comfortable, handy, and this. So sometimes what people do, they create slides, they create their own explanation videos, and then they can place it like this. So what will happen? You can now simply play it. When you will play it, it will start.
Welcome to this year's convocation.
Right? So
Here's
what
a short
happens?
clip on our college, IIT BHU.
Right. So this is how you can record your content in both in audio and video, and then do things otherwise. Right. Even here you can see you can start recording from your current slide. So you can start recording it like this also. So there are very good features which are available with us, right? So and you can save the media, you can trim it, you can even auto start such things, right? So the playback is very convenient way to utilize over here, right? So in this, on the software side, I would like to quote that practice recording on the slides itself, right? So that may also be very handy in future to explain. So this is one thing, and then there is one more thing which is useful, and that is about screen recordings. Screen recordings for your full lecture. What is that? While you are teaching on the PPT slides in the classroom, it is a good habit to keep on recording the screen itself. So what happens? By the end, after an hour or so, when your lecture is complete, you can immediately save it and place it in YouTube as a private video, rather unlisted video, and share this link within among the students. If you want, you can make it public. If you want to make it personal, you can keep it as unlisted videos. So YouTube will not be showing it to anyone, but you can place it in a repository. So that also becomes very comfortable and convenient to use. So the second suggestion is regarding the use of screen recording. Now, how do we record screen? Can anyone tell me how do we record screens? कोई बताएगा? How do we record screens? Anyone? Yeah.
There are certain applications, sir, screen recorder, like a screen recorder.
Jैसे what kind of screen recorder do you use?
Currently, I have not in my mind.
Actually, जानते हो आज
Sir, Windows Alt plus R pressed together.
Yes, correct, right. And where does it save your file? On your in which folder does it save?
Sir, I think in the C drive. Actually, my baby is coming. Sorry. Yeah.
So do you use it on a regular basis, or you are just telling me that it is possible?
No, sir, I don't use it on regular basis. While lockdown, once I used it very randomly. That's why I remember.
मैं ना actually इसीलिए ये emphasize कर रहा हूँ that we need to make habit of using these features on daily basis. Right? If you will use it daily, your content would start piling up and it will be prepared automatically. So it is not only that we should do it only when Corona period was there, or when the COVID period will come once again. Right? I have seen personally that this is a very good habit to use. Okay, whether it's a COVID period or whether it is not a COVID period. Fine. So this is another important thing to think. For example, in my MacBook, we have quick time player, and for quick time player, now you see, oh, right now you might not be seeing my screen. For example, here, so here you can see that I have a screen recorder. So the QuickTime Player is a free recording tool available in MacBook, right? So in MacBook Pro, we use recordings. So for example, one new screen recording is also going on. Here you can see one dot of a screen, right? If I will click it stop, it will stop, and I am already recording my screen, right, with the clear audio, video and audio, irrespective of whether my lecture is being otherwise recorded by the Google Meet or not. Right? Sometimes the central authority who created this talk might be having the capability to record these sessions, but it is not necessary they will share, or you will get access later on with them. Right? So it is a good practice that whatever you are teaching, keep a record of it, not for your safety, but for later reviewing. It is just like whenever we contact a call center, they say, sir, your call is being recorded for quality purposes. So once again, as a teacher, we can keep on recording our lectures for quality purposes. That is the only purpose, right? And even it is not necessary that you will share it on with the students, but you can always have it. And later on, you just try to view your own the video. What you will find that there are many aspects where you will feel like there was some scope of further improvement, right? So that is another important thing to just consider. So now when you have recording of your lecture, for example, I have certain lectures, you see one screen recording is already I am having. Let me just see what kind of recording I have made. Or I have even one more recording here. You can see on 13th January. Let me just open and see. It's 5 o'clock. Let me just see whether what kind of recording is. Or you see there is one more 8th lecture on sensors I have recorded. You will find that I have so many videos already available on my screen on desktop. So let me just open any one of them. So here you can see that I am measure the volume of right. चलो एक मेथड हो गई. Load cell. So we are measuring the quantity by weight. Okay. So whatever is the size of the container, whatever is the weight of the empty container, and after filling it, how much is the remaining weight? Acha, yesterday we were talking about how to measure the fit platform with multiple load cells. So what is implemented here? A large iron sheet, right, with multiple load cells, and all these load cells will eventually be averaged and right. So now you can see that my video was already recorded. Okay, so even while I am doing a casual activity, teaching a class or taking a session, right? It's a good habit to just record your session, whatever you are doing, right? Later on you can utilize, later on you can delete also, right? So screen recording of your full lecture is usually very helpful. Okay, so now when you have recorded so many lectures, how are you going to actually share it with your people? So everyone has a Google account. So with your Gmail account, you have your channel also, right? So you can go to your channel, and here in your channel you can see variety of things which are available. Okay, so it's a good habit once again to keep your videos uploaded, because unnecessarily while to use and waste your recordings, your own hard disk space or space in your laptop. So once again, a good habit is that you upload it in your YouTube channel. Here you can see there are my lectures are unlisted. A few lectures are in public domain. Most of the lectures are in unlisted mode. Why is it so, and why can it be so? Even there are sometimes where I have certain private videos also. So the reason of this is that when I want to actually do it, suppose for example I did one when I was doing recently a national workshop on dark patterns Buster Hackathon. Okay, so I actually did a live workshop for 1.5 hour for the students spread across the country in 140 plus colleges simultaneously in the evening, and all the students had connected and they were viewing it, right? So so this is where it comes very handy, right? Right. So now here you can see that in my channel, I have uploaded high quality video. Now, what level of quality of video? So sometimes you can see that I have full HD video so that the resolution is very good, right? So while you are using ICT platforms, resolutions are very important. If I go to my other videos, let us quickly check. For example, let me just check this video on sensors or something, right? If I go to this video, let me see what resolution or quality are we getting. Now here let us check what is the resolution. Here you can see even 4K HD, right? So not only full HD, now I have gone for full 4K HD videos, right? So once again, since your laptop is a high quality, high performance device, the recordings which you are doing is also high quality, and therefore now you can actually record and show to your students high quality video, right? And now you can see, right? So now you can just see the videos which you are having. They are full HD videos, they are 4K videos, they are different variety of resolution level of videos. Okay, so this is how generally it is interesting and important to use high resolution performance platforms and high resolution recordings of your thing, so that when the student will view it at home, he can actually see wide variety of and high quality content in your lecture, right? So the next take home is create high resolution videos and keep it in YouTube channels, maybe as a private or unlisted video, right? So if you are doing it, it's fine. If by chance you are not doing it, so once again it is recommended that you start creating recordings, uploading it on the channel, keep it as a private or unlisted video, but a practice should start that you are keeping your videos and content like this. Fine. So this is another important thing which I wanted to share with you all. Okay. So you should have a screen recorder for your full lectures. Acha, not only this, we have QuickTime Real Player. In fact, we have one more very capable platform is known as OBS Studio. Okay. So what is OBS Studio? Even OBS Studio for teaching and OBS Studio for screen recording, right? So you can see that there are many videos that are available. Okay, the learning videos, how to use OBS for screen recordings. Generally, one good way out is to see how many years and how many views of a video has happened. That means it is an important and popular video. Always learn from popular videos. So for example, this OBS tutorial by this blogger is very good, very popular, 2 million views 3 years ago. So how to use OBS for screen recording or streaming. You see one more thing, OBS Studio this is open broadcaster software. Okay, OBS Studio is a free and open source cross-platform screencasting and streaming app, right? So what you can do, not only that you can record and share your video through YouTube to certain people. If you simply want to capture the screen, OBS Studio is one-stop solution which will do it, right? So it can record a high quality video for you. Okay, this is another good feature of OBS Studio. So one should remember this. Okay, so maybe I should write here. Use OBS Studio screen capture, right? So this is another important thing. Now when you have kept so many videos with you. What you can do is, you can always choose to organize your content in Google Classroom. Like I have many classrooms already created, and I keep on creating my classes very frequently, right? Even starting from COVID periods, even earlier to COVID period. Now this is a good practice. Like this semester, I am teaching this particular course on electronics and instrumentation. So I am typically using electronics and instrumentation class for sharing my material with the participants. Okay, so here you can see that I created this Google class. And by the way, anyways, let me first ask from all of you, how many of you are still using Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams or any other platform for your regular day-to-day classroom activities? Pankaj, tell me. Your camera is on, so I am fortunate to catch hold of you. So Pankaj, can you tell me? Pankaj, are you able to listen? Yeah, Parmarji, tell me.
I use a Google Classroom,
right,
to share the material to the students sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Do you float assignments, quizzes?
Yes, assignments I do. And sometimes some important announcements about their quiz questions.
Yes,
I share with them.
Yes, very good. So actually creating a Google class is a very important thing, and one should use it on a very regular, frequent basis, right? So almost every day, every next day, every semester, one should use Google Classroom platform or Microsoft MS Teams platform or something. So use Google Classroom for as an official platform for student interaction, right? So it is not merely about organizing your content. In fact, it is a very good way by which you can share your content. For example, here you can see I have been continuously uploading. When the session started just in January, I started on 7th January. I posted a new material, enrolled students, attendance records, reference books, new syllabus. Even I have uploaded list of holidays, the academic calendar, and then I have included my lecture material also, whatever lectures I am taking continuously, right? Even I floated an assignment, and then I kept on sharing more lectures. Okay, so regarding the classwork, here you can see that since this classwork is just for this semester only, so it has just started. So it has just started, and here I have the lectures. Okay, and what I can create is I can create assignment, quiz assignment, questions, materials, and reuse posts. So, and then I can also create new topic. So for now, the topics which I have is the class logistics and introduction. That was my first class. And then after that, I started having sensors and transducers. Under the sensors and transducers, I have many things to share. Especially, I have been sharing my lectures with them. Okay, so whatever content I am teaching, I am sharing with them, and students can find it very handy immediately to do that, right? As far as people are concerned, I have included all the students, and I have ensured that every single student has been included in this group, right? As far as the grades are concerned, right? Sometimes I have already graded some of the assignments. Some assignments have been recently submitted, right? Some people are missing. So generally, in a very regular manner, you can keep on your content, your things graded, evaluated, and timely launched. In fact, if I go back, sometimes when you will create some new material, it will ask whether you want to post this content now or you want to reschedule. So what is the good way? Whenever you are free, just go through, create some questions, schedule it, and place it for future release. So what happens on daily basis, on regular basis, the students keep on getting new questions, new material, new things, so that they can keep on receiving some activities on your material, right? So this is how a Google Classroom comes very handy. If I go to Microsoft Teams, even Teams is far more effective. So generally Microsoft Teams is also very effective, and you can see that I have some content right now. I have not logged in with that account. Okay, but what can be done with this is, now here you see I have so many classrooms already created, right? So for example, another classroom was created here, right? So you can in fact see what kind of activities we are doing, what kind of files can we organize. Okay, you can have your home page, classwork, assignment, class materials, and variety of things. Interestingly, if you have licensed version, if you have subscribed to Microsoft Teams, you get most of the things already well integrated and mostly available for free, with almost very large storage space, up to 2 terabytes kind of storage space is available to every single user on Microsoft Teams. So that way also you can create variety of things. You can create multiple channels, and you can keep on interacting with them, right? So this was about the new material. Right. So even different types of questions can be there, different modules can be there. Within individual module, you can have many more activities. So it is strongly recommend to use a learning management platforms or learning management system for such purposes. Okay. So this is another good thing to consider, right? कहाँ गई अपनी PPT? Yes. So another important thing is use Google Classroom or use Microsoft Teams, right, etc., for creating your material. Okay, so what I am highlighting is the most popular, most common, and most frequently used platforms over here. Okay, so And then next very important thing is about frequent interactions with the students, right? So the scheduling activities, providing them assignment to write and submit. You may not find time on daily basis, but what can happen if you have scheduled your activities, every day one activity will go, no matter whether you have created 7 different activities in one particular day, maybe a Sunday itself. But what will happen? You will create, but you will not release it immediately. You will schedule it for later release. So what will happen? The students will not be overburdened, and they know that sir might be releasing more assignments and quizzes or activities gradually. So they are always mentally prepared that new assignment might be coming, and whenever it is coming, ensure to place the deadline for submission so that students find that okay, they have to submit it in time, right? And then whenever you get time, make sure to evaluate and revert it back to them, right? So in principle, what I will suggest is, whatever you are teaching, whatever you are referring, whatever you are creating, make sure to share it with your students, right? So there are many good platforms where you can do that, right? So now my question to all of you is, if I have to interact with 1.5 lakh students across the country, if you are doing some online workshop, I recently faced, that's why I asked, how would you do it? Anyone? कोई है जो जाग रहा है? लगता है मेरी बातों से सब सो गए. Feels like all of you are sleeping. कोई है जो जाग रहा है? Anyone please switch on your camera.
So sir, everybody is waking up, but the problem is 1.5 lakh handling is a bit tedious task, and none of us have come across such a situation earlier.
नहीं. Tell me again, Anilji. Tell me again. You had
none of us have come again forward to such a situation in earlier occasions.
Sir, live streaming
1.5 lakh is it?
Why ऐसा क्यों हुआ? आप बड़ी एक्टिविटी क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो?
सर लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग कर सकते हैं.
Yes, Ankita, we can do live streaming. Live streaming कैसे करोगे ये बताओ.
तो YouTube के थ्रू लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग कर सकते हैं.
सही बात है, मोबाइल खड़ा कर दिया और उसके सामने खड़े हो गए जैसे अभी.
नो सर, उस पे स्क्रीन शेयरिंग का भी ऑप्शन शायद आता है. मैंने किया नहीं है, बट नॉर्मली.
इसीलिए एक्चुअली मैं जितनी भी बातें कर रहा हूँ ना, ये सब वो बातें हैं जो एक्चुअली मैं कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है? जब तक करोगे नहीं तब तक प्रॉब्लम फेस नहीं करोगे. देखो ऐसा है, सबसे अच्छी बात तो ये है, यू कीप योर कैमराज ऑन. जो लोग कैमरा ओपन ऑन रख सकते हैं, कीप इट ऑन, बिकॉज ब्लैंक स्क्रीन से बात करना बड़ा डिफिकल्ट होता है, लेकिन आप लोग दिखते रहते हो ना तो लगता है हाँ बात करते रहें. कैमरा ऑन करके लाइव स्ट्रीम करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है. आपको स्क्रीन पर लिखना भी है. देखो जैसे अभी भी मैं कर रहा हूं तो मैं स्क्रीन शेयर करके पीपीटी पे आई एम राइटिंग, राइट? अब अगर आप अपने मोबाइल पे लिखोगे तो स्पेस ही नहीं है, पीपीटी कहाँ दिखेगी? अगर स्क्रीन में करोगे देन यू शुड हैव अ वैकॉम टैब एंड स्टाइलस एंड एवरीथिंग रेडी. बट अब ये बताओ, अपना स्क्रीन शेयर कैसे करोगे दुनिया से? चलो मान लो कि हम लोगों ने YouTube लाइव तो शेड्यूल कर दिया YouTube चैनल से. और एक और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज, एवरीवन, ईच ऑफ यू मस्ट हैव अ YouTube चैनल. रोज का चैनल बनाओ. कुछ भी पढ़ रहे हो, कुछ भी कर रहे हो, थोड़ी सी भी एक्टिविटी हो रही है तो उसको YouTube में डालना है. प्राइवेट बना दो, प्राइवेट वीडियो बना लो, लेकिन उससे क्या होगा ना, एक रिपोजिटरी बनती रहेगी आपकी एक्टिविटी की। फाइन। सो नाउ टेल मी कि हम YouTube लाइव कैसे करेंगे, YouTube से स्ट्रीम कैसे करेंगे अपने लेक्चर को, क्योंकि अनिल जी का अब इस लेक्चर के बाद वो एक बड़ा इवेंट प्लान करने वाले हैं, हम सबको इनवाइट करेंगे और 1.5 लाख स्टूडेंट्स को एड्रेस करेंगे। देखिए 1.5 लाख हो या ना हो, अगर आपने कोई नेशनल एक्टिविटी करा दी, कोई सेमिनार करा दिया, कुछ और करा दिया जो लाइव होने वाला है, ठीक है, या आपको अपने ही 1,500 स्टूडेंट्स को एड्रेस करना हो, देन एट दैट टाइम लाइसेंस्ड प्लेटफॉर्म्स लेना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है। जूम आधे घंटे या 1 घंटे के लिए सिर्फ 50 लोगों को अलाउ करता है, गूगल प्लेटफॉर्म 100 लोगों को अलाउ करता है, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट टीम्स 300 को भी करता है, वो भी तब जब आपका MOU हुआ हो इंस्टीट्यूट के साथ, राइट। जूम के साथ भी वही है, पेड सब्सक्रिप्शन लो तभी आप नंबर ऑफ सब्सक्राइबर्स बढ़ा सकते हो। सबसे आसान, अच्छा, और हम लोगों के साथ ये दिक्कत होती है, फॉर अ फैकल्टी मेंबर इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू गैदर फंड्स। No one comes forward to give us money. सब कहते हैं फ्री में कर लो, right? So YouTube is a very good platform, but the difficulty is how to share the screen. So for that, I had shown you just now.
Sir,
हाँ,
OBS के थ्रू आई थिंक कर सकते हैं फेसबुक पे या यूट्यूब पे।
मैं वही बता रहा था। OBS Studio is a very good platform which can be used for sharing your screen, streaming it live. So what you will require to do, you will actually create a YouTube live session by going to your YouTube channel. You can go to your YouTube channel. I think now here you can see how to use OBS for screen recording for streaming. Just watch this. You will find that creating a new live channel, for example, even here you can go to your channel and you can add go live. So it will ask you from where you want to do that. So go for stream, and then here you can see that you have stream key. Okay, so stream key can be copied, and then after copying it, you can go to OBS Studio. You can go to OBS Studio. Let it just open. Yes. Now you are at the OBS Studio, and here you can go for start streaming, and you can go for the settings. So when you will go to the settings, you will go to stream, and here you have the stream key to post. Here you will post your copy paste your live stream, and then your screen sharing will go to that particular link of your YouTube channel. So your YouTube channel will become live. Okay, so that is how we do it. Actually, I believe my next speaker has also joined, so we might not have more time. So YouTube live is a very good thing. Zoom meetings. So OBS Studio is one of the most useful platform which you can utilize and then share your content with everyone. Okay, so I believe frequent interactions, and after that your OBS Studio, your YouTube live channel and other things can also actually help you utilize your ICT platform in a very good way. Okay, so I think at this point, now this is 5:32, so I should close my interaction here. So I request all of you once again to please switch on your cameras so that once again I can see you all, and then we can...
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
अब आई डोंट नो, देखिए जब तक आप लोग इसको यूटिलाइज नहीं करोगे ना रोज के रोज, तब तक मजा नहीं है। आज ही नया लैपटॉप लो, अपनी गाड़ियों से बाहर निकलो, अपने स्टडी टेबल में बैठो, थोड़ा थोड़ा वीडियो बनाओ, थोड़े थोड़े लाइव चैनल्स बनाओ, लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग करो, राइट। शुरू में प्राइवेट वीडियोस बनाकर रखिए, लेकिन व्हाटएवर कंपोनेंट्स वी हैव at hand, all of them are free, but the problem is we don't actually much bother to start utilizing it, right? So my suggestion to all of you is that please try to inculcate this habit to utilize ICT platforms. Otherwise all platforms are very good, very powerful, and one can use it. Okay, so with this I thank each of you to have maintained your patience, have been interacting with me, and I have shared my mobile number and email IDs also, so please feel free to talk to me, send me any number of messages. WhatsApp is the most convenient platform, so even drop me any number of WhatsApp messages. Okay, so thank you so much, and bye bye, and have a very good time. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
उन्होंने करीबन 20 लाख रुपए की फीस ली थी। जी हाँ दोस्तों, 20 लाख रुपए की।
Okay, so good evening, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we can start.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Is my screen visible?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just wait for a couple of minutes. Let us then set up. And okay, so is my screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, it's solid.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
let us start then. So this is a introduction to information retrieval, which can be considered as the background technology of background technology of search engine. Okay. Yes. Okay. So are you familiar with these screens? Hello, audience. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So are you familiar with these screens? The first one, okay, or the second one, or
Yes,
this
sir.
one?
Yes,
Okay. These last two may not be that much familiar to you, but what are all these? These are search engines, right?
Search engines.
Yes. So information retrieval is the subject that works behind these search engines. The last two are actually, the left one is Baidu, which is a popular search engine in China, and the right one is Yandex, that is popular in Russia. Okay, so we'll try to learn the subject and the technology behind these search engines. Okay, so the outline of the talk is, we'll first define what is information retrieval. Then we'll learn some basic concepts, especially the indexing, searching, retrieval, different experimentation that are done in this course, and the evaluation strategies. That means if there are different search engines, like I showed you, like Google, Yahoo, Microsoft, Bing, Baidu, or Yandex. So among the different search engines, which one you can say is the best one? Or can we rank different search engines based on the performance? Okay. So how to evaluate the performance of different search engines? Okay. We'll also talk about some special techniques. Going on top of the basic concepts like relevance feedback and thesaurus construction and so on. Showing some applications of this field, information retrieval, in particular web search. The examples of some of these, web search engines we saw in the last slide, and recommender systems. Okay, so let's start with the definition. So what is information retrieval? Okay, so we know that search on the web is our daily activity. Okay, so for many of us, the day starts with, searching on the Google, and probably we go to sleep by doing the last search of the day. Okay, so search and communication are two popular uses of computers today, especially the computers which are connected with the web. And application of search is actually everywhere. So we not only search on the web, but we also do it on our desktop, on our mobile, to search for a particular file or application. Okay, or maybe an image or a video. Okay, so the field of computer science that deals with this search is information retrieval. Okay, so the subject started in the late 50s. Okay, and Gerard Salton, a professor from Cornell University, was in a sense pioneer in this field. So he gave this definition that information retrieval is a field concerned with the structure, analysis, then organization, okay, organization, storage, searching, and retrieval of information. So, I mean, you see, I mean, the highlighted words, okay? So, each of these terms are actually important. So, structure of information, analysis of information, organization of information, storage of information, searching, and retrieval of information. So that was the definition provided by Sultan in the year 1968. Nowadays, I mean, information retrieval is, is also defined this way. So information retrieval is finding material, usually documents, of an unstructured nature. Okay, so you mind this, highlighted term, unstructured nature, usually text, that satisfy an information need from within large collections, usually stored on computers. So this is the definition given by Manning, Raghavan, and Sood's, three authors of the book called Introduction to Information Retrieval in 2007. Okay, so what are to be noted are these highlighted words. So finding documents of unstructured nature. Okay, usually textual document. Okay, now why we highlight the term unstructured? Because we know for structured document, okay, we have database technology, okay, and we have we use their SQL to search for some information, okay. But here we consider unstructured documents. That means the textual free-flowing documents where we use natural language, like a file, maybe an email, or maybe a short text like a tweet, okay? And that satisfy an information need. So that this information need is very much important. So it's not only about finding any material. So the found out material, the document, should satisfy some information need, okay, which is there in the mind of the user, okay, or the searcher, from within a large collection, okay. So again, this large collection is important because, if you know that in your system there are 10 documents, so you can easily, go through one document after another, and you can find out, right, the information you are looking for. But instead of 10, if there are 10,000 documents, okay, or 1 million documents, so it's not that easy, okay. So obviously, manually, that is not then possible. You need some automated system to do your job, right? So that's why information retrieval there comes to help the user. So this picture, okay, is a you can relate to this cartoon to get what this subject actually does. This person, under the hip is the system, and this entire heap of documents is the collection, the large collection, okay? And this is actually you, okay? So this is you, the searcher, okay? So with this background, let us move forward. So information, so why we need this information retrieval system? Because of information overload. We are flooded with information available in electronic format in all over the world, okay, all around us, okay. So we need some ability to find usual information when it is required, okay. So we need on-time information, okay, just in time, okay. So so what is the setup? The setup is user will provide a natural language query, what we often provide to a search engine in the search box. Okay, so that should be in natural language, unlike the database system where we provide SQL query. Okay, so here you don't need any SQL query, right? And then system will find the documents, okay, containing useful information. Okay, and so that useful information, okay, so the term useful, okay, again, I mean, need to be very carefully understood. So that should satisfy some information need, okay, the query, okay, of the user, and that should be relevant to the user's query. Okay, so I'll come to this point a little later. So the types of information can be in different formats. Okay, it can be text, images, graphics, speech, video, etc. But among these different types, the text is the predominant one. Okay, most commonly used. So we'll focus only the text over here. But information retrieval as a subject can be on multimodal platform where you can have any of the types that are mentioned over here, right? So, but here, I mean, in this particular discussion, we'll focus on the text, okay? Okay, so the general principle is, so the user will provide keywords, okay, a set of keywords to represent the text, okay? So in form of query. Also, the documents, okay, that the user is looking for, okay, will also contain those keywords, okay? So the keywords supplied by the user will be basically searched in the documents, okay, so that we can find the documents which are containing the keywords provided by the user, okay? So if you see the, I mean, if you'd like to see the information retrieval process, so it looks like this. So you have an information need, okay, so by the user, and on the right, I mean, we have the collection of documents, okay. Now, this document need to be pre-processed, okay, to make an index. I'll define what an index means. Similarly, the information need, which is expressed as a set of keywords or in textual form, okay. So, so the textual input need to be parsed to make a query, okay. So the question is how the query is constructed from the information need. Remember that information need is in the mind of the user, okay. So when the user expresses it, then only it comes in the textual form. So that textual form is then parsed, okay, understood, and then a query is formed, okay. So the subject deals with how that query is constructed. Also from the documents, okay, the collection of documents, how the documents are pre-processed, and an index is created, and then out of, I mean, so the query is a set of keywords. So how the keywords and the index, okay, so how this, I mean, how is the interaction between this query and the index, okay, so that, I mean, a set of documents are shortlisted, which are then ranked, okay, based on their relevance, okay. So the point is how that retrieval is done, okay, and at the end, when you get a set of documents which are supposed to fulfill the user's information need. So how good is the retrieval? Okay, so instead of getting, you can get a set of documents. Okay, so you get a ranking. Okay, some documents, and so maybe if you use different search engines, okay, then you can get different ranking of the same documents. So ranking of documents set 1, you can get another set of ranked documents provided by another search engine. So how good is the retrieval? Okay, can we say that ranking of one engine is better than the other? Okay, so all these aspects, okay, are actually studied in this subject. Okay. Okay. So let us then move towards each of these issues. So first, the information need. Okay. So information need, as you know, can be sometimes very specific. Okay. For example, this one. Okay. Falkland petroleum exploration. Okay. So these are only the keywords. So obviously Falkland petroleum exploration. So with these 3 terms, it's not very clear what we want to mean. Okay, but the second part, description, gives you more specific need of the user. So what information is available on petroleum exploration in the South Atlantic near the Falkland Islands? Okay, so from the title, in the description, it is little more clear. Sometimes we have another part of the information need, okay, which is called narrative. Okay, so that gives a more vivid explanation what kind of information is actually required. Like any document discussing petroleum exploration in the South Atlantic near the Falkland Islands is considered relevant. Okay, so documents discussing petroleum exploration in continental South America are not relevant. So here we are mentioning that what are required, what should be considered as relevant, and what are not relevant also. Okay, so this is this kind of format is called topic. Okay, in our information retrieval parlance. So a standard topic looks like this. Okay, so information need is expressed in terms of topic. So it can be very specific, as I mentioned, but it sometimes can be very vague also. Okay, like this. Okay, so often we do this kind of search. So for example, I'm going to Kolkata for a conference in January. So what should I know? Okay, so the user is not clear about what he or she expects from the system. Okay, so whether the user is interested to learn about the mode of transport, or the accommodation facility there, or the weather, or what kind of apparels he should carry, or what are the places of attraction. Okay, so what should I know is a very vague, vague idea, right? So, but we sometimes make this kind of search also, right? The job of search engine or information retrieval system then becomes quite difficult. Okay, so this is about the information need. So let us then come to the second aspect, that is the relevance aspect. Okay, so in what ways can a document be relevant to a query? Okay, so when can we say that a document is relevant to the query. Okay. So this concept of relevance is very subjective. It depends on the user, her state of knowledge. Okay, so you can answer precise question precisely. Okay, so that can be the notion of relevance. Also, sometimes we can provide partial answer. Okay, so partially we can answer the question, and that can also be considered relevant. For example, suppose you want to know about a new term that has come in the market. Say CNN. Okay, so for a person who doesn't deal with machine learning or deep learning, CNN can stands for the TV network CNN, or it can be just convolutional neural network. Okay, so the full form may be sufficient for a user. Okay, so if you just say CNN stands for convolutional neural network, so that only partially answered the question, what is CNN? Okay, so unless you talk about little more, then it is so depending on the user's need. Okay, so relevance may have different connotation. Okay, so sometimes partially answering questions can sometimes if you suggest a source of information. Okay, so that can be sufficient. Okay, for example, if you'd like to know about say IIT BHU. Okay, so if somebody provides you a link to the homepage of IIT BHU, okay, so that can be considered as a relevant piece of information. Okay, or if you if you want to know more about CNN, convolutional neural network, and if somebody provides a link to Wikipedia page of CNN, that can be a source of information. So without having the details, the link can be the source can be a relevant document. Okay, sometimes some background information. Okay, so maybe on the topic of CNN, so how the CNN came into being. Okay, so who are the scientists behind its establishment? So that background information sometimes can be relevant to you. So sometimes the user may be reminded of the other knowledge associated with the concept that is being discussed. Okay, so on and so forth. So there can be several such notion of relevance. Okay, so in other words, so what we are trying to mean is that the concept of relevance is specific to the user and her information need. Okay, so for a given user, for a given information need expressed by the textual query, the relevance is actually decided. Okay, so it is a subjective notion, and but even though it is subjective, it can be measured. Okay, it can be quantified. So in what way we can quantify the relevance? So that we will see. Okay, so so one mode of the measurement can be how often do people agree that a document is relevant to a query. Okay, so even though it is best described when the user is satisfied, so it can be decided by some voting technique. Okay, so if a lot of people agree that for the given query the document is relevant, then it can be considered as relevant. Okay. Also the related question is how well does it answer the question? So whether it is a partial question, partial answer to the question, or it is the complete answer to the question. Okay. So whether background information is provided or not. Okay. So whether further explorations is possible from the given information or not, so on and so forth. Okay. So with this background, let us then go to the basic concepts behind the subject. Okay. So as I mentioned, so there are two major components here. One, the documents, the set of documents, and the other one is the query. Now, information needs and documents, okay, so both are represented by a set of vector or bag of terms. Okay, so here by bag of terms we want to mean that sometimes the sequence of words make sense and they are important. Sometimes we discard the order among the words. So instead of considering the sequence of words, we put all the words in a bag. Okay, so we consider the set, the concept of set, and those set of words or keywords are considered to be useful. Okay, so here we use the term instead of so instead of words or phrases, we use a common term. So that is we call it the terms over here. Okay, so these terms can be single word or it can be combination of 2 or 3 words. Okay, 2 or 3 words. Okay, for example, Prime Minister of India or United States of America. Okay, so Prime Minister of India. So you have 4 terms there. 4 words there, but that together provide a single concept. Or United States of America. Okay, so even though it is a collection or a sequence of 4 words, but together they represent a single concept. Okay, so the words or phrases, okay, the collection of words together make a term. Okay, so each term is considered to be an indivisible unit, okay, of information, and that is then used for indexing. So remember that we talked about indexing. So the query need to be matched with the index. So basically, index is the data structure that we actually construct from the set of documents, and this indexing is based on the concept of index that we find at the end of a book. Okay, I think you are familiar with this index that we find at the end of a book. Hello, the audience, are
Yes,
you there?
sir.
So
Yes.
Okay, so this index, where do we find this index? Hello.
At the end of the books.
Right. Yeah, so yes. At the end of a book, we find this kind of index. And what are the specialities in this index? I mean, we know we have table of contents, right, at the beginning of a book, but still we generally add this index at the end of a book. So can someone please tell me, I mean, why? Okay, so the reason is, even though
it is mentioned,
yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, somebody was.
It is mentioned topic wise and page wise.
Yes. So in the table of contents, I mean, the content of the book is organized in a very structured fashion, right? So if we know the organization of the book, if we have some knowledge about the subject of the book, the content of the book, then only we can refer to table of contents, because that is organized in a structured manner. For example, a book on data structure will discuss first the linear data structure, and then it will go for hierarchical data structure. Now, suppose if you want to search on tree, so if you are from computer science background, then you know that tree is a hierarchical data structure. So maybe, I mean, you can leave aside the first few chapters where linear data structures like arrays and linked lists are discussed. So you will go to the hierarchical data structure part, and there we will find, say, the tree. And even within tree, if you want to search for BST, say binary search tree, then you know that it's a binary tree. And so in the binary tree, you will find BST. Okay, but you consider the I mean, case of a student from maybe say philosophy, okay, who doesn't have any idea about BST. So can he or she search on a book by going over the table of contents? Or to you, if a book on, say, pharmacology is given to you, okay, so can you search on, say, on say some peptides, okay? So these are, I mean, to search on a book, you need specialized knowledge, okay? If you want to search on a topic from table of contents, okay? But using the index, anybody can make a random search, okay? So, so this index helps us in doing random search, okay? Why random search is possible? Because the index is alphabetically arranged, right? We have all the terms starting with A at the very beginning, followed by B, and then C, okay? So each term, okay? So here we mentioned the, term. So say absolute correction rule. So this is consisting of 3 words, but together they form a concept, okay? I mean, say Bayes classifier, okay? So Bayes classifier, maybe, I mean, the, Bayes constraint is discussed on page number 57. So given a concept, given a term, you can quickly search on this index, and the page numbers are associated with it. So you can directly go to that particular page to find the information that you are looking for, okay? So this index helps us in doing random search, and we don't need any domain knowledge to do the search. So basically, information retrieval creates an index like we create an index at the end of a book, okay, for a set of documents, okay. So let us try to learn how this index is created, okay. So I mean, as a as a thinking assignment, you can kind of try to understand, try to mull over it, how that index can be created of a book, okay. So can anyone please quickly answer? I mean, can the index be created before writing the book? Any answer?
No.
No, sir. End of the book.
Yes, but can table of contents be created before writing the book? I think yes, right? Because
Yes.
It's there, but the page number cannot be
yes,
written.
page numbers cannot be assigned unless the book is printed. But the overall organization of the book can be decided beforehand, before writing even a single word, right? So table of contents can be designed without assigning the page number, okay? But index cannot be created unless and until the entire book is written and printed. Even if the book is written, if it is not printed, the page numbers cannot be assigned, and therefore we cannot have the index of the book. So how the index can be created? So it can be only created when the book is printed, okay, and the book then needs to be scanned from the very first letter of the first page to the very last letter of the last page, okay. So a idea can be a rough idea to create the index is you scan the content of the book from the very first word, and as you encounter each and every word, you put them in a list, okay, maybe in a file. So you make a list of words, and whenever you encounter a new word, okay, so you check in that list of words whether the words are already encountered or not. If encountered, then maybe you just note down the page number of that word. Otherwise, you create a new entry and proceed, right? So this way the index can be created. So this way, you will get a list of words with the page number, and then you do alphabetical sorting of the terms, and that will be your index, right? You agree? Please respond whether it makes sense or not.
Yes, sir, it makes sense.
Okay, good. So so let us you try to keep that that idea at the back of your mind, so that we can proceed forward. So any document, okay, when we are calling a document, it is also applied for the query also. So any text item, so here it is document, so you can also consider it query as well, okay. So can be represented as a list of terms along with associated weights. So a document is nothing but a set of terms, okay, and each term is given some weight, okay. So the weight is basically the measure of importance a term is assigned in a particular document, okay. So if there are small n many terms, T1, T2, T3 up to small tn, then each one is having associated weights W1, W2 till W sub n, okay. So how, so how then, that indexing can be done, as I mentioned. So you first identify the individual words. So that you can do while you are doing the scanning. So that is also called tokenization. So identifying the words, okay. So after scanning, you find the word boundary and then you identify the words, and then you do stop word removal. So that means some of the words in any given language are used as connectors, and they actually, they are very frequently occurring common words, and they provide grammatical correctness rather than providing any useful information. Okay. So for English, they are like the articles, prepositions, conjunctions. Okay. And each language has a set of, stop words. So once you identify the words, then, you can get rid of these words. Remember that in the index, we don't find this kind of stop words, right? Unless they are part of a phrase, okay? So once you, remove the stop words, then for the remaining words, you do some pre-processing techniques like stemming. So stemming means you reduce different forms of a word to its root form. Okay, for example, analysis, analyze, analyzing. So all these are, similar term. Okay. So if you consider the common prefix of them, then you will get this, common root. Okay. Or maybe, education, educational, educating, educative. Okay. So all these words have a, common term like common root called, say, educate. Okay. So you add educating, ing to get educating, educative, when you add IVE, so on and so forth. Okay. So these root words may not be always grammatically correct word. Okay. But this is a way of getting the common root by doing some chopping of the suffix. Okay. Common suffix. Okay. So this is called stemming. In contrast, you have another technique called lemmatization. Okay. So instead, you can do that technique also, where you will get the grammatically correct word like educate. Okay. So you can use either one. You use either stemming or lemmatization. Okay. So there are standard algorithms to, do this stemming. So for English, we have a technique called Porter stemming technique. Okay, provided by Porter. Also, there are some statistical techniques that they are used nowadays, which do not need any domain knowledge or knowledge of the language. So after this stemming, so you get a set of words which you will be using for your indexing. So here is an example. Okay. So there are two documents. Okay. And you can see, how exactly, so this is the stop word list. Okay. So the first one was for. Okay. So it is. So this one is for. So for is of apostrophe s, the, to. So they are the stop words which are removed. Okay. So after doing the tokenization and all. Okay. So hence, so the is removed. Similarly, I think over is also not there, right? So they are removed as stop word. Okay. And so apostrophe s, so again, is removed when we are doing the stemming. Okay. Maybe back is also, back is there. Okay. Similarly, okay, is removed over here. The is removed as stop word for okay, to okay. Okay, so this way, so after doing this, so we get this kind of representation. So 0 means the term is not present in the document, and 1 means the term is present in the document. Okay, so this is one form of indexing. So when the presence and the absence of the term are represented this way, okay, so this is called Boolean retrieval. Okay, so that we will be discussing little later. So sometimes along with the terms that we have used over here, okay, we also used the synonyms. For example, aid has got a synonym, maybe called help, okay, or assistance. Okay, so we sometimes augment the index with some additional, terms. So this is done because you don't know, I mean, whether the search term will be present in the document or not, right? So, for example, if the document contains, the term aid, but you are using the term help in your query, then you won't be getting a match, okay? Even though the document 2 contains aid, right? So to enable, meeting your search criteria, we sometimes use additional terms with synonyms or thesaurus, okay? So we also use, so here in the example, I showed only single word terms, but sometimes we also use multi-word terms like I explained earlier, computer science, data mining, so they are 2-word terms. Or maybe, Prime Minister of India, so that is 3-word term, okay? So, or United States of America, okay? So, you can also augment your index with some multi-word terms, okay? So this way we create the index, and the resulted set of terms are then assigned to the document, okay? And that gives us the, okay, index. So, here are some more, details how you can add the phrases using some statistical method or syntactic method, like, you can get the, you can find what are the common 2 terms occurring together, okay? So using some syntactic technique, using some statistical technique, or you can use some part of speech tagger, and you can find some sequence, okay, that satisfies certain patterns to find out the phrases, okay? Like nominal noun followed by another nominal noun, so that can give you a noun phrase like this, okay? Information followed by retrieval, okay? Both are nouns, and to give you a noun phrase, information retrieval, okay? So with this background, let us come to the retrieval models, okay? So retrieval models mean how we can match the query with the documents, okay? So I'll discuss about 2 models, okay? So the first one is the simplest possible technique, that is called Boolean retrieval. So in this model, both the documents as well as the query, okay, are represented as Boolean vector. Okay, and the queries are connected by Boolean operators. Okay, like I want some document where Java and compilers and Unix or Linux, these three terms are present. Okay, so Java and compilers must be there, but the third term may be either Unix or Linux. Okay, but we want the documents where all these three terms are present. Okay, so if your query is like this, then how that can be done? Okay, the second model that I'll be discussing here is called a vector space model, or VSM. Okay, so VSM. Okay, so the so here also, I mean, we consider both the query as well as the documents as vectors, but instead of Boolean vector, we consider here real vector. Okay, so here the vector is Boolean vector. Okay, and here it is real vector. That means they will have positive values. Okay, 0 or okay greater than equal to 0 real number. Okay, so that means okay, whereas we'll have the entries. Okay, so remember the term weights that we discussed. Okay, so the term weights in this Boolean model will be either 0 or 1, and here the term weights will be real numbers. Okay, so the Boolean retrieval actually give us set-based retrieval. That means we can get a set of documents. I mean, where we cannot have any ranking among the documents. Okay, so for example, for this particular query, we can get a set of documents like some D1, D2, and D3, which are matching this constraint. Okay, but we cannot say D1 is better than D2 or D3 is I mean better than either of D1 or D2. Okay, so that kind of comparison is not possible in Boolean retrieval. But this vector space model give us a ranked list. Okay, where we can say that some D3 is better than D2. Okay, or it is less than worse than D1 and so like this. Okay. Okay. So the example query can be I mean say I mean Java I mean the document representation can be like this. Say we have a document where Java is occurring 3 times, compiler is occurring 2 times, Unix is occurring 1 time, and Linux is occurring 1 time in the document. Okay, or also maybe in the query. Okay, in the query also, I mean we can have a query like say Java compiler or Java processor or I mean Java in Linux environment. So this way, I mean here we consider multiple occurrence of the terms and make that multiple occurrence as part of our model. Okay. The other one is probabilistic model. Okay, so that is from another domain. So so here we try to assign the probability that the document is whether generated by the query or the other way around, whether the query is generated by the document. Okay, so what is the probability that the document is generated by the query or the other way around? Okay, so here the concept of probability is considered. Okay, so some examples of probabilistic models you might have learned, that BM25 or language modeling approach. Okay, or maybe in today's world, I mean, you have learned a lot of large language models. Okay, so language, LLM or large language models are basically extension of language models. Okay, so the language model is some probabilistic framework. Okay, okay, so focusing on the Boolean retrieval, so the operators used here are and, or, and not. Okay, so and means intersection, or means union. So for example, suppose a term Chinese, okay, is occurring in 4 documents, D1, D5, D17 and D28, and restaurant, this particular term occurs in 5 documents, say D2, D5, D19, D28 and D31. Then if we want a document, okay, or if we want a set of documents where both the terms Chinese and restaurants are present, then we can check that it is present in D5 and D28. Okay, other documents contain only one of the 2 terms, but not both. Okay, so only these 2 documents contain both the terms. Okay, similarly, I mean, if we want to have the OR query, okay, so can someone please prompt me? I mean, what can be the answer here? Okay, someone please. Can someone please prompt me? Anybody? Is anybody there, or you have all gone to sleep mode?
We are here only, sir.
Okay, okay, yeah. So, what will be the answer for Chinese or restaurant? The above one, gives you the result for AND query. Okay.
And
D1, D2, D5, D17, D19, D28, D31.
Right, right, exactly right. So all the, all the documents will come over here, D1, D2, okay? Because we want all the documents where either Chinese or restaurant or both are present, right? So it will have basically the entire, set of documents given over here. So D17, then D19, D28, and D31. Okay, so this is the result for Chinese or restaurant. And again, I mean, if so, you can do some exercise like, I mean, if I say Chinese but not, okay, Chinese but not restaurant, okay, then you basically can someone please do this? Chinese
D1, D17.
D1 and D17.
17.
Everybody agree? So
Yes,
the
yes.
common one will be, will be discarded, right? So Chinese will be there, but restaurant should not be there. Okay, so D1 and D17. Okay, so this is what Boolean retrieval is. Okay, so this Boolean retrieval is easy to understand and it has a clear semantics. Okay, so and means all the terms should be present, or means any of the term should be present, and it is certainly computationally very efficient. Okay, so that are the positive sides, but negative side is no ranking is possible. Okay, as we can see in the last example. Okay, we cannot say D for the Chinese and restaurant, so D5 is better than D28 or the other way around, right? Okay, so that ranking is not possible. And one finer point is, so if you have actually several terms for AND queries, like say T1 and T2 and T3, okay, and say, I mean, if there are several such terms for AND queries, so even if say n minus 1 terms are matching, but you do not get one single term that is absent in a document, so that document will not be actually retrieved. So that is the bad part of AND query. Okay. Even if n minus 1 terms are matching, okay, if we do not get one term, okay, so that document will not be relevant, okay, or retrieved. So that is very punishing, okay. Or for OR queries, so one match, okay. So again, I mean, if you consider T1 or T2 or T3, okay, or Tn, okay. So even if we get one single term, so that document will be retrieved, right? So for OR queries, the result set will be huge, okay. And for AND queries, it may be often no match found, right? So, so that is certainly a drawback of Boolean retrieval. And when the information need is quite complex, okay, like the examples we showed in the initial slides. So Falkland exploration, petroleum exploration. So when that need is quite complex, it is difficult to express as a Boolean query. Okay. So so therefore, Boolean retrieval, even though simple, but is difficult to implement. Okay. So therefore, I mean, we need ranked retrieval, okay, where vector space model can be used. So here, I mean, the documents are the same way represented as a weight vector. Okay, so if there are small t many terms, so a document is basically a sequence of term weights, and again a term, okay, can also be considered as a vector, okay, where I mean the column vector represents the term vector, okay, and the row vector represents the document, okay. So a query can also be represented as a vector like a document. So each term is therefore is having this kind of representation, and pictorially, I mean, they represent a vector, okay, in a multi-dimensional space. So here we are considering only 2 dimensions, say x and y. So in the x direction we have diet, in the y direction we have star. So I mean, it's difficult to I mean, go beyond 3 directions. So maybe, I mean, if we increase another direction, say maybe astronomy along this. So each term actually represents 1 dimension, okay. Each term is a dimension over here, and they are orthogonal to each other, right? So any document or a query can be represented as a vector in this multidimensional vector space, okay. So for example, here all these are I mean all these are vector, and the query is also a vector, okay. So how this query is related to a document, okay, or how the closeness between the query and the document vector can be computed, okay, and that score, similarity score, can be used for ranking a set of documents, okay. So maybe geometrically, we can consider a three-dimensional vector space where we have two documents, D1 and D2, and a query, okay, given by this. So we can measure how this query is close to a document, okay. So as you can see over here, maybe this document, okay, this document D1 is more close to the query queue, okay, compared to this one, right? Now this closeness is best if both the query and the document are along the same direction, okay. So because here in this vector space, the direction gives a particular distribution of terms, okay. For example, here query has only T3 present, okay. You don't have any T1 or T2 present in the query. So no matter how many terms you have, okay, but each of them are, if each of them are of this type, T3 type, then you can say that this document, okay, maybe this one we can call it another document, okay, say document D3. We can say that document D3 is the best matching, document for the query queue, okay, followed by D1 and followed by this document D2, okay, because you see, you have 5 entries of the term T3 for document D1, whereas in document D2 you have only 1 entry of term T3, okay, whereas your query needs only T3. Query is only interested about T3, okay. So so this notion of similarity is actually captured in how this notion of similarity can be captured. So is it the Euclidean distance between the vectors or something else, okay. So this is actually best represented by the angle between the query and the query and the document, okay, or maybe we can call it the projection of the document on the query vector, or the other way around, the projection of the query on the, okay. So either you go in this direction, okay, or you go in the opposite direction, okay. So you try to take projection of the query on the document, okay. So either way, so this projection can be represented by cosine of the angle between the two, right? So that is by cos theta. So this is also therefore called cosine similarity, okay. So how to therefore find the cosine similarity, okay. Okay, so let us see how that can be done, okay. So the first thing is you first determine the term weights for each of the terms. So the term weight Wij reflects the importance of the term Ti in document Dj, okay. Now if a term is frequent in a document, right, then it is it should have higher importance of that term, okay. Similarly, if a term is occurring in many documents, okay, then that term is not that much important, okay. So we have to reduce the importance of that term, okay. So frequent terms within a document should be given higher weightage, and very common term across the documents should be given lesser weightage, okay. So remember that we have already used binary weights, but here we will be using some, non-binary weights. Okay, so we can use raw term frequency, or we can as weight, or some real number. Okay, so we generally use in the vector space model TF-IDF term weighting scheme. So TF means term frequency. Okay, IDF comes from the fact. So TF is called term frequency. You can maybe, you might have heard these terms. So this is inverse document frequency. Okay. Now, document frequency means for a given term, in how many documents the term occurs. Okay. Now, if a term occurs in many documents, then it is not that important. So its weight should be downweighted. Okay, its weight should be reduced. Okay, so that means importance of the term, okay, or weight of a term is proportional to TF, and it's also inversely proportional to DF. Okay, document frequency. In other words, its importance is proportional to IDF. Okay, so you make a function of TF. Okay, and similarly you make a function of IDF, suitable function, and then you kind of multiply them to get the importance of the term. Okay, so that is what is actually done. Okay, so this is the case for binary weights. If you use raw term frequency, then you get, instead of 1 0 vector, you will get a non-zero count vector. And if you consider term frequency TF-IDF scheme, okay, then you need to use some function of TF. So one popular function is this, okay, 1 plus log TF, or this kind of function. This DF I was mentioning, okay, document frequency. So this is a popular function for DF or IDF. So this function is called IDF because DF is in the denominator. Okay. So this is proportional to TF. This is proportional to 1 by DF. Okay. So taken together, so why log is used? Because it is not the fact that the term frequency is proportional to raw term frequency. Okay, so the importance of a term does not increase linearly with term frequency. Rather, it is a sublinear function, and we know that log is not a linear function. For a linear function, it will be like this. For log, it will have this kind of slow rate of increase. So hence log is used. So that is used for both TF as well as IDF. Okay. So so taken together, therefore, what we get is TF-IDF term weighting. Also, there is another factor called document length. So because long documents contain many distinct words, so certainly long documents will have higher number of terms, and short documents will have few terms. So with few term frequency, okay. So to counter the effect that long documents are not unduly preferred, okay. So you need to have normalization of length, okay. So importance is also the term weight need to be therefore need to be length normalized, okay. So it should be proportional to the length of the 1 by inversely proportional to the length, okay. So therefore the term weights is a factor of term frequency, inverse document frequency, and length. Okay. So TF IDF divided by some normalization, length normalization. So with that, so that is your weight. Okay. So that weight you calculate for each of the terms. Okay. Each of the terms in the query and each of the terms in the document, and you sum them up. Okay. So that will give you the similarity score, because because this is a cosine similarity, and cosine between any two vector A and B is dot product of A and B, okay, divided by the length of vector A and B, right? So if you consider term weight as A by length of A, okay, and B by length of B, okay, so they are as if they are unit vectors, then that's what this is, right? Now A is a vector, so therefore it will have different components, right? So basically the weights are those components, okay? So if your query is having query is a vector of terms q1, q2, qn, okay? Similarly, document is also vector of these term weights, okay? Then you do this and get the similarity score, and this similarity score lies between 0 and 1, okay? So for each document you calculate this similarity value for each query, and that will give you a score between 0 and 1, and you can rank a set of documents based on the scores, okay, in the decreasing order of the scores, okay? So this is the formula, right? So this is the formula, Wij coming from the document, Wiq from the query, okay, and this is the length part, okay? Okay, so this is two models, okay, that we discussed, okay. So maybe I can skip this part, experimentation part, evaluation, okay. So evaluation means how to measure the performance. Two popular measures are recall and precision, okay. So recall means how many documents are retrieved and they are relevant divided by the number of relevant documents. Precision is, the proportion of retrieved relevant documents. So that means out of retrieved documents, how many are relevant, okay? So these two metrics are very popular, and several other metrics are actually developed from these basic two metrics, okay? So these two metrics actually measure two different aspects of okay. I think okay. So relevant and retrieved are sometimes, not the identical set, okay? So relevant and retrieved, okay? So this is the, so this part, okay, in the middle, okay, are the set of documents or items which are relevant as well as retrieved. So this intersection part goes on the numerator, and the denominator is different, set. Okay. So we can have very high precision and very low recall system represented by this way or the other way. Okay. And this is the ideal case where we have high recall and high precision, but obviously they are not easy to achieve. So a general system looks like this with increasing recall, we have fall in the precision value, and that curve looks like this. Okay, so this precision recall is used to visually understand the quality of retrieval. Okay, and since there are two different measures, okay, so we often use F measure. Okay, so which is a harmonic mean of both precision and recall. Okay, so these metrics were used for set-based retrieval like Boolean retrieval, and for ranked retrieval where we get this kind of ranked results. Okay, we use other set of metrics like average precision. Okay, I am not going to the detail of this definition. Okay. Maybe so maybe I can quickly come to talk about few examples where this system is used. Okay. So these are two, areas, web search and recommender systems where this is used, information retrieval technique. But search engine is a commercial application of information retrieval technique, but it has got little difference. Okay. In generally, in our academic setup, experimental setup, we consider homogeneous document type. Okay. But in case of search engine, we deal with web where we can have different types of documents. So we have heterogeneous document type. And in information retrieval, we consider it is an offline task. Okay. With minimal number of users and with minimal user interaction. Okay, but in case of web search, it is almost real-time performance is required with huge amount of user interaction, and the presentation is also very important. Okay, how you are going to present the result, right? So it has also got a few other components like web crawler and the advertisement part. Okay, so along with our search, we often find this kind of advertisements. Okay, so along with the content-based indexing, we have also to maintain index for advertisements. Okay. So the task is similar, but the scrolling needs to be incorporated so that the documents can be acquired by the search engine. Okay, so the ranking is done using a combination of several traditional models along with some link analysis. That means we try to use the links present in the documents. Okay, the documents are often connected to each other via anchor text. Okay, so we use different link analysis techniques. So two popular techniques are page ranking and authority and hub. Okay, we also use some other techniques like click logs and all. Okay, I'm not going to details of this. Maybe quickly I can go to another example. like recommender system. Okay. So recommender system also we use, this kind of, so when we are searching for a particular, particular item, so you often get recommendations from the vendor that these items were frequently bought together. Okay, or you can also look at similar other items. Okay, so how these recommendations are created? So this is another area where we have application of information retrieval techniques. Okay, so this is not only true for commercial websites but also YouTube. Okay, when you are following some music, so similar musics are provided to you, similar videos are shown to you. Okay, or you are searching for books. Okay, so similar books are provided to you. Okay, so so there are different different types of recommender systems. So the first one, content based filtering, is the direct application of information retrieval technique, but there are other techniques based on link analysis and other structural information obtained from the graph of different items. Okay, so let me conclude with this. So here are some reference books, okay, that you can follow. And I understand it has been 7 o'clock, so quite heavy dose of lecture for you. So I'm open for questions. Thank you. Maybe I can have one or two quick questions. Anybody? Any questions? Yeah, you can also write on the chat box.
Thank you, sir. It was really very informative session. And many things, I think I was not aware about all these things, but tried to learn all these things. And I think when we will do practice, then we will come to know more about all these things. Thank you for your nice session. Thank you, sir. So you are muted.
Yeah, so actually I offer a semester-long course on this topic. So I mean, it's very difficult to cover detailed treatment. Okay, but I just tried to give an introduction so that you can explore more on your part, and you can have more detailed understanding of the subject. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other comments, queries? Okay, so if not, then let me take the break. Let me, have your permission to leave. Thank you for your patience, and your careful attention and participation. So it was wonderful having the opportunity to give a lecture over here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a very nice session.
Thank you. Thank you.